Westfall's Phoenix Suns of the envy of the NBA. Their primetime lineup features Charles Barkley, whose act is winning over everyone in Phoenix. Those who question whether his flamboyant style would play in the land of the sun have been proven wrong, as Sir Charles has led them to a remarkable 26-5 record. The fact that all-star point guard Kevin Johnson has missed 19 games makes their fast start even more impressive. Picking up the slack in his absence have been Dan Marley, who is now a starter, and more recently Richard Dumas. The Suns are flying high in the Valley of the Sun, and this afternoon they will look to continue shining brightly against the New York Knicks. Welcome to Madison Square Garden in New York for the New York Knicks and the Phoenix Suns meeting for the first time this season. The Knicks coming off the Saturday night loss in Houston. They are now 21-14, a half game in front of the Nets, 2.5 over Boston, and now 3 ahead of Orlando. While the Phoenix Suns, the leaders of the Pacific Division, are 25-6, and that is the best record in the NBA. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with John Andres, and for the Knicks, following a disappointing 2-up and 2-down trip to the West, not an easy task today in going against Charles Barkley and the new-look Phoenix Suns. And for Charles to this point, John, it has been an MVP-type season.
Charles is at his best. The only bad thing, Marv, is we see him only once a year now. With Philadelphia, we usually get 3 looks at him. Things haven't changed, though, despite the fact he's surrounded with a lot more talented players than he has been in the past. For Charles, the numbers are still top-notch, and he has fit right into the Phoenix Suns' great style of play, which has been so rewarding for their new coach this year. If you give Charles any kind of room whatsoever, he will jam that ball or slam it or do whatever to get it in the basket. Any kind of room whatsoever, Charles works down low, outside, runs on the break. He's all over the place, and his numbers are up there as usual. 5th in scoring in the NBA at over 26 a game, 4th leading rebounder, shooting the ball over 50% from the field and over 75 from the foul line. There's not much more one could ask from Charles Barkley. The thing that makes him more effective and more in the center of things this year is that he's got better players along with him, so he's part of a very good team.
As for the Knicks, after that loss to the Rockets in Houston on Saturday night, Pat Riley held a closed-door meeting, closed the locker room for 25 minutes following the ball game, and understandably, Pat Riley was upset about the performance on that 4-game trip.
Well, reportedly, it was a players' meeting, but you know, Pat was there, as were the assistant coaches. They were very frustrated with their play, and they have every right to be frustrated. They haven't been doing the job, particularly in the stretch of games. They haven't been doing a good job at all. And Pat Riley wanted to stay out of it and let them air their feelings out. Charles Oakley said, hey, we're much better than this. We're playing so poorly. Pat Riley had an interesting quote of his own, Marv. And Pat, not very happy with things, have finished analyzing the situation, too much thinking about basketball. And I thought it was interesting when he said, if we don't change things, maybe we'll get some players who will help this thing out. First allusion to possibly changing things, you know, because Pat has been very happy with things as they have been so far.
All right, it's the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns this afternoon here at Madison Square Garden. A rare visit to New York for Sir Charles. We'll be back with the lineups in a moment. Well, the Phoenix Suns have won their last 2. They've taken 21 of their last 23. They last played at home in Phoenix Friday night, beat Miami 107 to 99, led by Charles Barkley, 12 of 17, 31 points. Suns making it 10 straight wins at home. And we are set for the introduction of the Hertz starting lineups.
First for the Suns. At guard at 6'1" from California, number 7, Kevin Johnson. At guard at 6'6" from Central Michigan, number 9, Dan Marley. At forward at 6'7" from Oklahoma State, number 21, Richard Dumas. At forward at 6'6" from Auburn, number 34, Charles Barkley. And at center at 6'10" from Old Dominion, number 41, Mark West. The trainer is Joe Prosky. Assistant coaches Lionel Hollins and Scotty Robertson. And the head coach, Paul Westfall. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'6" from Kansas State, number 20, Rolando Blackman. At guard at 6'2" from UNLV, number 50, Greg Anthony. At forward at 6'10" from Pitt, number 54, Charles Smith. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Oakley. And at center at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, co-captain Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders, the assistant trainer Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches are Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy, and the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley.
Well, mixed reaction from the crowd for the Knicks coming off the split of that 4-game Western journey. The Knicks and the Phoenix Suns, they split their 2 meetings against the Suns last year, winning here at the Garden in overtime, losing in Phoenix. Earlier, John talked with new Phoenix coach Paul Westfall and asked for his thoughts on the Knicks.
We're preparing for a meat grinder. The Knicks are for real, and they are going to be in every game because of their defense and their rebounding. And we expect them to physically try to beat us up. We expect them to get on the boards and to pound it down low against us. And if they get any outside shooting at all, we're going to be in for a long night.
And afternoon. Of course, this will be repeated this evening as well, so Paul will have an opportunity to participate both ways.
Did you correct Paul after that interview?
I did, Marv, yes.
All right, a look from overhead. The overhead camera shot brought to you by the Upper Deck Company. Nobody does basketball like Upper Deck. The officials, Dan Crawford, Joe Forte, and Jim Clark. As Phoenix controls the opening tip. Kevin Johnson setting it up against Greg Anthony. This is Dan Marley, who these days is in the Phoenix starting lineup and being guarded by Rolando Blackman. Richard Dumas, the outstanding rookie from Oklahoma State, goes to the scoop. And Oakley lost it out of bounds. Try to control the dribble. And it bounced on the baseline, so Phoenix maintains possession.
Well, Charles Oakley is guarding Charles Barkley, and Charles Oakley should forget about helping his teammates today, because if he leaves the sight of this man, it's going to hurt.
Oakley playing him well here at the start. Barkley posting up, goes to the fadeaway.
That's just fine if you're Oakley. Let him do that.
So the Knicks to the offense for the first time. Greg Anthony being played by Kevin Johnson. Blackman taken by Marley. Pass intended for Smith down low, but he got entangled with Dumas. And the ball goes back to the Suns.
Dumas is 6'7", and from the opening move, we see has a lot of mobility. So this is a big challenge for Charles Smith, the classic small forward he's dealing with.
Double up on Johnson. Now Ewing gets back down low. This is Mark West. Oakley now playing West. Knicks doing some switching. Barkley is outside as Marley hits. Patrick Ewing was matched with Barkley, who had drifted to the top of the circle. The Suns with a 2-0 lead. Blackman. Yes.
That's a big move for him. There was a lot of motion by Rolando before he got the ball, and when he got it, he was right up and right in his comfort zone.
Rolando Blackman coming off a 7 for 12, 18 points against the Houston Rockets. Here is Barkley, and he goes glass to give the Suns a 4-2 lead. Charles Barkley coming in, the number 5 scorer in the NBA. He's averaging 26 a game, along with 13 rebounds, which is 3rd in the league. Ewing working against West through the foul. So Mark West called for the personal, and it puts Patrick Ewing at the line.
Well, by definition, this is where the Knicks have a huge advantage in matchups. Mark West is an able guy, but he's basically a banger. a low-profile player among big men in the NBA, and by definition, Ewing should eat him up. One way to start is to get the ball inside to Ewing and let Ewing go to the hoop and get West in foul trouble. And we'll get a look at big Oliver Miller.
Yes, the huge O, as he has been labeled in Phoenix, 6'8", 275 pounds plus. #1 draft pick, rookie out of Arkansas. Done a good job. Oliver Miller will be coming off the bench. So Ewing misses on both free throws. Suns with a 4-2 lead. Phoenix Suns with a good-looking road record, 12-5. They are 13-1 at home. This is Dumas. As the outside touch, this is 6th straight start. Second-round draft pick last year. Had drug problems. Went through a drug treatment program. Played a bit in the CBA. Patrick Ewing. Suns with a 6-4 lead. Dumas also played for the John Lucas Miami Tropics in the USBL this past summer. And now in the starting lineup, putting a move on Smith, and he was hacked.
Yes, the reason he was the 46th player chosen in the second round 2 drafts ago was because of the drug problems. Paul Westphal told me this guy was a lottery pick if there ever was one as far as talent goes. He played with some very tough people in the Big 8 and a college teammate of John Starks at Oklahoma State.
John Starks had a number of college teammates through his tour of collegiate duty, 4 different colleges. Richard Dumas played the 2 years at Oklahoma State, as you mentioned. Also played a year in Israel. And here he is off to the fast start to give the Suns an 8-4 lead.
Look at how Barkley guards Oakley. I mean, he's almost illegal as a defender. He's back so far off.
Ewing rejected by Barkley, who thought he got him cleanly, but a foul is called.
I think Charles wanted to make sure everybody in the arena knew it was he who blocked Ewing's shot. It was a cleanly blocked shot,
but that wasn't the call. The foul, as it turned out, was on Mark West. Barkley may have gotten him. Oh, yes, he did all ball, but West cut him off from the angle and was called for a second.
Charles' way of getting attention early here. It's a little quiet here at the Garden. The fans are a little confused yet. They don't know if they love the Knicks quite yet after their disappointing road trip, and Charles wants to get things going.
John analyzing the psyche of the fans here. But you're right. I think you're right on there.
It sucked you
Not
right in.
Sure here. Suns 8 and the Knicks 6. Kind of like a parent-child relationship. I'm not sure if they like them today.
Right. Perform for us before you get our best.
And Barkley was fouled.
See how he gets attention, though? The crowd is booing him now because he dunked the ball after the play was over. He draws attention.
Charles Oakley called for that foul, so Marley puts it in play. Suns 8, Knicks 6. Slow start here at the Garden. Illegal defense called on the Knicks. That is the warning. Oh, Oakley and Barkley going at each other. And warned by the official, Dan Crawford, as they look for position. Charles Barkley, you get the idea, will not take anything at all from Charles Oakley and looks to establish position.
He's got a smile, though.
Now Barkley with the jump shot. And Barkley now hearing it from the crowd. Blackman, that was a 3-point attempt. He's been hot from downtown. Blackman picks it up, pass intended for Marley. Well, exchange of words and some physical play, getting this crowd going here at, what, 16, 17 minutes after 1 in the afternoon.
Well, he's the focal point of the offense. That's clear right now as Kevin Johnson dumps it down to Barkley.
It counts. Good if it goes, said Joe Forte.
A lot of spirit here on the Suns team. Everybody's circling the wagons here, congratulating each other after that shot.
Now, what was the call there? It appeared that they were about to call an illegal defense, and they waved it off because Marley hit the shot, so that was the call. Oh, Marley tried to brace the fall of Greg Anthony. Anthony was ready to go and then realized that Marley was trying to help him out. Well, tempers here, a little testy.
I would say very sensitive people. Thin skin evidence is here early.
Tom Chambers has replaced Mark West. The Suns with an 11-6 lead. Tom Chambers these days coming off the bench. He has changed his style. He's pulled back, fitting in with the Suns offense. And a pushing foul on Anthony. And once again, Barkley and Oakley are having some words. Now, the move here would be if Charles gets involved with Barkley, at least take him out of the game. I would think from the Knicks point of view, that could be extremely useful from the Knicks point of view.
I don't think Oakley would ever try and do that, though. He's just banging him hard.
Now, that would be National Hockey League mentality. Now, here's Chambers and the Suns with a 13-6 lead.
But he knows, Oakley knows he's got to keep the body on Barkley.
They double up on Ewing. Nice ball movement. Smith. And rebounded by Ewing. But a loose ball foul on Ewing. Ewing pushing out underneath. So the ball goes back to Phoenix, but a timeout is called by the Knicks with 7:13 remaining in this first quarter.
Well, this game isn't 5 minutes old yet, and we have some sparks flying. The Charleses are getting together. Lots of banging going on. Oakley knows he can't give this guy any room, but he's doing it before the ball is thrown inbounds. He's banging on Barkley quickly.
Suns with a 13-6 lead. 5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Barkley on a quick release. That's his second field goal. He has 4. Phoenix 15 and the Knicks 6. Oakley try to set the pick. Ewing getting position on Chambers. Rebound Barkley. Good box out. Chambers again.
Such a difference in matchups. Chambers can hit the jump shots, but Ewing has got to get the ball down low as he did moments ago, because Chambers can't deal with Patrick.
9 consecutive points for Phoenix. Blackman. Rolando Blackman getting down low. Anthony broke it up, recovered by Dumas, and he pops one high and far. So the Knicks take over.
Very impressive move by Rolando Blackman, carving his way inside.
Phoenix 17, the Knicks 8, halfway through this first quarter. Blackman, yes. So Rolando Blackman has hit 3 out of 4. And the Suns now lead 17-10.
Consistent shooting has been the Knicks' problem, and when you see Rolando getting the touch, it's nice to also see his teammates recognize that and continue to get him the ball.
Marley with a three-point attempt. Wide open. That's his second three-pointer. He led the Suns in that department last year. He is a major threat from downtown. The Suns with a 20-10 lead. Danny Ainge getting set to come on. He's over at the scorer's table. The Knicks trying to establish Ewing, but Patrick Ewing not able to hit. Blackman off the turnover. It's a 3-on-2. Anthony going all the way and fouled by Johnson. Here is Danny Ainge coming on, replacing Dan Marley.
Our AT&T long distance shooting information, career 3-point field goals. Danny Ainge, number 3. Dale Ellis, by the way, took over the one position for Michael Adams only a game ago. Ellis now starting as a forward in San Antonio. But Danny Ainge, a familiar face certainly to New York basketball fans, and left Portland and got a longer contract than they were offering him, and he's very happy where he is because he's smelling championship possibilities again.
Yes, Danny Ainge signing a 3-year, $6 million contract with the Suns after the contract at Portland expired. Last year, Ames started slowly but finished with a flurry. Here's Dumas. And Blackman starts back. Knicks trailing 20-12. Blackman had it knocked away. Got caught up at midcourt. Ames open. Rebound, Barkley. 22-12, Phoenix.
Interesting to see that Suns shooters always seem to be wide open. The Knicks are shooting under pressure.
Ewing with a drop step. He forced it and was rejected. He was double teamed. Dumas returning to Johnson, and he's hammered. Kevin Johnson will go to the line. Anthony called for that foul.
Well, Ewing, look at how tough Kevin Johnson is. He was making it tough. He's a tough guy, and then he got help at the end of the move. The turnover goes to the Suns. They handle the ball beautifully. Kevin Johnson does, and Dumas also very generous with the basketball, giving it back to his teammate.
Anthony Mason will come on in a moment. Kevin Johnson, one of the league's better free throw shooters, as he misses his first. He's 86% from the line. Here's Mason for Oakley. So this will be a new matchup thrown at Charles Barkley. Anthony Mason, I'm assuming, will take a shot at it.
Well, the Knicks also need some scoring. That's the part of the game that Charles Oakley doesn't participate in. So Mason can do a little bit better there, perhaps. And the Suns are finding their once-a-year visit to Madison Square Garden quite nice, as they're hot.
Nice play, but Smith was rejected, able to hit on the recovery, and he was fouled. Charles Smith will go to the line, seeking a three-point play. Chambers called for that foul.
Well, Charles Smith getting it down low, drawing the foul on the follow-up play as he stayed alive on that effort after he was denied the first time.
Charles Smith has been having his difficulties as of late, shooting only 37% the last 13 games. Prior to that, he was going very well. Then in the midst of the Knicks hot streak, Johnson got the step and was stopped. Good play by Anthony, able to recover. Here's Mason on the open floor, pulls up against Chambers. Smith wide open. Yes. 23-17. That Phoenix lead has been trimmed to 6. They've led by as many as 11.
This is where the Knicks have to dig in and show their league-leading defense.
Well, Mason on the interception. Smith. Rebound Mason off the double pump. Oh, good play by Phoenix, stopping Mason. Chambers. Barkley wanted an alley-oop, did not get it. Now Barkley facing Ewing. Barkley amused by this matchup.
He's also making the call for the official, signaling the illegal defense gesture. Nice of Charles to help everybody out.
Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley spending much time together at the Olympics in Barcelona. And a little byplay between the two as Charles was being played by Patrick. Ames able to hit the technical.
Charles with the ball, drawing the attention. Now he'll go into the illegal defense gesture, see? And he got the call.
Timeout called by the Suns. 3:18 remaining in this first quarter.
A real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to stay when. A reminder from Budweiser. And from our upper deck trading card camera, we'll take a look at the defense inside that the Phoenix Suns present. On that miss inside on that drive, Anthony Mason there goes into a series of head fakes and draws the attention of all the defenders around him, and they succeed in denying it, Anthony Mason, and igniting their own fast break.
Substitution for the Suns. Frank Johnson handling the ball has come on for the first time. Dumas was stopped. Good play by Smith.
Likes that underneath shot. You don't see that very often in the NBA. He opened the game with that scoop shot.
Knicks trailing by 7. 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And Smith fouled by Dumas.
Smart play by Blackman and Smith. The body of Smith is too big for Dumas.
That's the first called on Dumas. Phoenix over the free throw limit. Phoenix now with Chambers, Dumas, and Barkley up front. A backcourt of Ainge and Johnson. Frank Johnson, man who played 7 years with the Bullets, a year with Houston. He had been playing in Italy the last 3 years. Signed by the Phoenix Suns, and he's been getting the playing time off the bench. Phoenix 24, the Knicks 19. Phoenix Suns at 25-6. That equals their best start in the history of the franchise, and that is the best record in the NBA. Knicks going to some pressure. Now Ewing gets back on Chambers. Dumas called for a travel.
Very good defensive response by the Knicks to each other, helping out.
Blackman coming off the pick, but Ainge stays right with him. Ewing battling Chambers for position. And Patrick Ewing has been off. He's 1 for 5 from the field. Chambers. Back comes Anthony. Blackman going to the left hand and called for a travel. It's an unusual move to see Rolando try to pull that off, going right to left across the lane, and he traveled.
Looked like Patrick Ewing's move when Patrick takes that big two feet together jump.
John Starks replacing Rolando Blackman. Blackman leaves with 3 out of 4 from the field. Barkley trying to feel around for Mason. And went to the short jump.
Mason missed Starks wide open.
John Starks coming off the outstanding 4-game road trip. Gets the pick from Ewing. And goes the lane. Rejected by Barkley. He thought he was home free. Here's Johnson for Barkley. Offensive foul. No, they called it the other way. It's on Smith. So the foul on Smith will send Barkley to the line.
Get a load of Barkley's quickness. At a shade under 6 feet, he can get up high so fast. That's part of the secret to his greatness.
Charles Barkley, who was able to hit the 15,000 career point mark the other night against Miami.
Old Spice leaders point out best records in the NBA, and it's the Phoenix Suns on top at 25-6.
How about Seattle? 24-10, along with Utah. Chicago right now 4th best in the league. Chicago Bulls last couple of years able to beat up on the weak clubs. They've had some problems with some of the lesser teams this season. 7-point Phoenix lead. Minute 20 remaining in this first quarter. Starks from deep. That's a 3. John Starks hits the 3-pointer, and the Knicks go within 4.
Ainge creaming John Starks, and boy, our cameras were right on that. Wow. That's why it's good to focus off the ball once in a while. Thank you, Danny Ainge, for helping make this an entertaining show.
Offensive foul on Ainge, who is still debating the call with the official Jim Clark. Anthony racing with Johnson. Anthony, nice move. So the Suns led by as many as 11. The Knicks turning it now, trailing 26-24 with just under 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Suns have not hit a field goal the last 4 minutes.
Barkley wants a clear out so he can go one-on-one.
Lost the ball, recovered, and hit.
That gives the fans a verbal massage for doubting him.
That's something to say to the crowd after connecting on that driving shot. Technical foul now has been called. It's against the Knicks. Well, it's on Pat Riley. It is rare for Pat Riley to be assessed with a technical. And Danny Ainge will shoot the tee.
Well, Pat Riley had a lot to say about that last basket of Barkley. Might have thought he traveled.
Danny Ainge one of the best free throw shooters, 86% for the season hitting the tee.
There's Barkley going on a trip as he recaptured the ball after losing it. And I would think Pat Riley felt that he got away with a walking violation.
Phoenix leads by 5. Ewing with a strong move, foul.
There's a lid on the basket for Ewing today. He's so frustrated he can't get that ball down in the hole.
Foul committed by Chambers. His second. Ewing 2 out of 4 from the line. Only 1 for 5 from the field. Patrick Ewing has not shot well at the free throw line this season at 69%. Phoenix 29, the Knicks 25. Frank Johnson moving on. Greg Anthony, Johnson, and Ainge at the guards. Dumas has played the entire first quarter. Tony Campbell has just checked in with a good defensive play, reaching in to get the jump ball. Good play by Campbell, who has certainly moved right back into the rotation the last 3 games.
Yes, Dumas presented that ball without protecting it, and Campbell was right on the case.
Tony Campbell played in Dallas on Friday, did a good job after sitting out 7 games. Played against the Rockets in Houston Saturday night, 13 minutes, hit 3 out of 5.
Frank Johnson is not enjoying Greg Anthony's pushing, and he just decided to do something about it. I saw that coming, Marv. That was a foul he chose to use on Greg Anthony.
And so it will be Knick ball. 9 seconds remaining, first quarter. Knicks down by 4. Anthony changed his mind. Try to hit Ewing. Now, normally he might have taken that jump shot, but Greg coming off the doubters, perhaps after being rejected the other day in Houston, passed it up. So that's a shot he should have taken and decided to look down low. So that's the end of the first quarter. The score, the Suns 29 and the Knicks 25. The man in the sweater, one-time coach of the Phoenix Suns, Cotton Fitzsimmons, now handling the color on KTAR Radio in Phoenix, working alongside the real McCoy, Al McCoy. Earlier we asked Cotton for his thoughts on the acquisition of Charles Barkley.
Barkley gave this club an inside game offensively that it really needed. The Phoenix Suns have been a good ball club for the last 4 years. Now they have a legitimate chance to win an NBA title because they have Charles Barkley, who gives them an offensive inside game. Defensively, Charles Barkley can bang with anybody in the NBA. So he is a guy that will step out on the court and back up whatever he says. And I think our team needed that type of player.
Cotton Fitzsimmons, former coach of the Suns. Second quarter underway. Campbell not able to hit, and Ainge controls. Barkley in the first quarter hit 4 out of 7 from the field, 2 out of 2 from the line for 10 points. Sitting down right now as Ainge fires, and we get a look at the huge Oliver Miller, wearing number 25, the rookie from Arkansas, is on the floor for the first time, and he's guarding Patrick Ewing.
And he just shoved Patrick right away.
So Campbell will throw in. Doc Rivers in the lineup for the first time. Rivers and Starks in the backcourt. Campbell up front with Mason and Ewing, and it will be Phoenix ball. As we do from time to time, we like to sample broadcasts from around the NBA. So we have Al Troutwood, who will be paid a proper fee for this, sticking the microphone in the faces of Al McCoy and Cotton Fitzsimmons on KTR Radio. Ainge able to hit, and the Suns now lead it 31-25. And let's pick up the play-by-play of the Phoenix Suns broadcast.
5-6. Tony Campbell, top of the key. Go to Rivers on the right side. He'll bounce it to Ewing, posting up, and the Suns show a quick double team. Now they swing it around the perimeter to Starks. Left side for 3. No go. Ewing for the rebound. That's his first board of the game here in the second quarter, and now out of bounds. Early breaks here.
Good hustle by Patrick Ewing, but he couldn't keep the ball. His toe came on the out-of-bounds line. Now, with Oliver Miller in the ball game, I look for the Knicks to go to Patrick Ewing because they probably feel that the official will make the call against the rookie.
It's Miller with Chambers, Marley, Frank Johnson, and Ainge. Chambers, 18-footer straightaway, just short. Miller with the rebound. Bounce it back to Frank Johnson. He'll give it to Marley, who tries the three. In and out, no good, and the rebound comes down to Anthony Mason. Mason up out of backcourt, brings it himself on the dribble down the left side. 31-25. The Suns on top. Mason wheels it out to Ewing, who will take an open 17-footer, but it's off to the left, no good. And Oliver Miller grabs the rebound, but traveled with it as he started to bring it out. As we know, Cotton, Miller thinks he's a point guard sometimes, and he likes to bring the ball up out of backcourt.
The outlet pass should have been made right in front of us, Al, to Danny Ainge, who was wide open.
Ewing's going to get a breather right now for Coach Pat Riley. Smith will return, and the Knicks have the basketball. On their last 5 possessions, the Knicks have not scored. They've had 4 shots and missed, plus a turnover. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's the Garden in New York. Phoenix leads by 6. Charles Smith fakes, drives inside. He's got the shot. It won't go, but he's fouled on his way to the hoop. And as a result, he'll go to the free throw line, and Frank Johnson gets a hand in to pick up the personal.
Well, they did a quick interchange with Anthony Mason that time. Freed up Charles Smith outside. Tom Chambers had to switch. When he did, he went out quick, and Charles Smith put it on the floor, which he's capable of doing. He just missed the shot.
How do you feel about the Knicks bench, Cotton? Right now, Pat Riley has 4 of his bench players in the ballgame.
Good, solid players, all of them experienced players. That's what's important to them. Tony Campbell, John Starks, you have Doc Rivers in there, Anthony Mason, and the youngest guy in there is Charles Smith. So good, solid bench that can match up with the Suns bench.
And just so fans don't forget, Pat Riley ended his NBA playing career in 1976 with the Suns. That's right. Okay, one of the 2 free throws is good by Smith. And it's 31-26. Suns leading here early in the second quarter. KJ Kevin Johnson has returned to the Phoenix lineup. He'll bring the ball up out of backcourt, starts to drive to the right side, pull up over Rivers from 16. Swish, he got it.
Yeah, Doc Rivers plays KJ strictly body. He never reaches in for the ball.
33-26, the Suns lead it. Smith handling the ball out front, top of the key, goes to Starks on the left side, protects the ball away from Marley, who has the defensive assignment on him. Now to Tony Campbell, back to Starks. He'll try that long-distance bomb again and hits the three-point field goal, the super shot of the NBA.
Marley cannot afford to double off the ball when John Starks passes it in. Sets him up beautiful for the 3.
He's been scoring of late, as we mentioned earlier, and that's his second 3 of the game. Here comes KJ left side. Chambers in the corner. Wheels it out to Marley. Here's the bounce pass for Oliver Miller, posting up right side against the next Charles Smith. 7 seconds on the shot clock. They go to long range. Ainge on the other side for 3. Shazam! Danny Ainge hits the trio. We're seeing some long distance shooting.
Well, again, we've talked about all the weapons, and Ainge is one of those real outstanding 3-point weapons.
Doc Rivers on the drive, takes it in low, in traffic. He'll shoot it, won't get it. And on the rebound, we're going to have a foul called, and coming over the top, trying to get to that ball, is Doc Rivers with 8 minutes, 49.
Now, wait a second. Al McCoy, he took that phrase, Shazam, right from your terminology. Shazam.
And long-range Ainge.
Yes. So Al McCoy, or the real McCoy, as they call him in Phoenix, working along with the former coach of the Phoenix Suns, Cotton Fitzsimmons, on KTAR radio in Phoenix, Arizona. Little sampling once again as we check out the other voices around the league. Here's Starks, and we should point out that was a radio call. 8:25 remaining, first half. Kevin Johnson. Suns with a 36-29 lead. They led by as many as 11. The Knicks were able to close the gap in the latter stage of the first quarter. Phoenix loves to run and gun. They come in averaging 113 points a game. That is second in the league. Here's Smith.
Charles is getting closer, although still not shooting the ball effectively. He does have 1 jump shot make.
Doc Rivers with the good recovery defensively, although Kevin Johnson thought he was fouled. Ainge with the steal.
The rare turnover pass by Anthony Mason. His judgment is usually flawless.
Crowd wanted to travel on Johnson.
Look at how costly that was.
Suns 38, Knicks 29. And Pat Riley calling for a timeout with 7:34 to go in the second quarter.
The upcoming Knicks versus Miami Heat game on Sunday, February 7th, was originally listed at 6 p.m. It's now going to begin at 7:30 p.m. Sunday, Feb 7th. Suns pass the ball well. They share the ball, and they know how to pass. Marley, Kevin Johnson, and then Danny Ainge finishing it off. Ainge is surprisingly tall. He's about 6'5", so when he gets around the basket, he's comfortable as well.
He's surprisingly tall.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a
something
6'5".
recently.
He doesn't look like a 6'5" player.
Surprised. Maybe he's not 6'5". Maybe he's listed at 6'5", and maybe he's 6'4".
Check it out. 77 inches. Excuse me.
You measured it?
Measured it, right?
Surprisingly tall. Charles Smith rejected. Anthony Mason hurt his right arm. Suns lead 38-29. The crowd wanted to travel on Johnson. 5 minutes gone by. Second quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Proudwood, Walt, Clyde Frazier from the guard.
Chambers is beating up on Rivers inside, but he didn't get the ball. Oh boy, they're really going at it.
Ainge hits a three. And Mason is hurt. Mason hurt his arm moving down the court, and looks like he is in pain.
But he'll never show it. Now he's holding a little bit.
And a 20-second timeout has been called.
The Suns have so many answers on the court. Charles Barkley's out of the lineup, and they continue to roll. Take a look at Mason in the picture now, arm wrestling with Tom Chambers. Also, he took a shot from Charles Smith.
Mason sitting down. Knicks now have a front line of Ewing with Smith and Campbell. Rivers and Starks in the backcourt. Patrick Ewing has had his difficulties in the first half. He's missed his last 6 field goal attempts. 1 for 7 overall. Smith, yes. Suns by 10. Setting Phoenix and Marley, Kevin Johnson, and Danny Ainge in a small lineup along with Tom Chambers and Oliver Miller. Here's Johnson. And Rivers with the good hustle cutting in front of Ainge.
Look at that lineup the Suns have out in the court now. With the exception of Oliver Miller, who's a rookie and a big guy in more ways than one. Everybody can shoot that ball from anywhere on the court. Everybody they have out there is a real good shooter.
Loose ball foul called on the Knicks. Campbell argued the call. It's on Smith. That's 3 on Smith. And now Campbell will sit down. Rolando Blackman, who shot well in the early going, checking back in. Well, they correct the foul. It was on Campbell, not Smith. So Smith with 2 fouls. And Chambers tripped up by Ewing. That's the second committed by Ewing.
The Knicks always have their big men jump out to double team that ball. The problem for Ewing was he was jumping out and Tom Chambers at 6'10" was there, so there was a collision.
Johnson with the step. Rebounded by Ewing. Rivers gives it up. Starks for 3. Yes. John Starks with his 3rd three-pointer. Suns get it right back. Phoenix on the transition. And Kevin Johnson extends to a 43-34 lead. Here's Blackman. Rebound Chambers. Well, the team from the Valley of the Sun playing its game here in the first half. Johnson trying to penetrate. Miller rejected. And back comes Rivers. Blackman trying to shake off Marley. Smith. Suns 43, the Knicks 36. Charles Smith showing some good signs, getting good shots. He's hit 4 out of 8. He's the high man for the Knicks with 12. Phoenix by 7 with 4:40 to go. First half. Ainge worked off the pick. Ewing got a piece of it. Chambers sets up Marley. Well, the Suns now having their shooting problems. Charles Barkley will come back in a moment.
Well, just thinking, Marv, what a long rest he's got.
Here's Ewing. Yes, and the foul. Oliver Miller called on that foul as he was clearly beaten by this fake by Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, no problem with that shot. With shorter people, or people who don't see his game much, that one-hander across the lane has proven to be very productive for Ewing lately.
Oliver Miller sitting down. So Charles Barkley played the entire first quarter and sat out for just under 8 minutes of the second quarter as he checks back in. He has 10 points. High man for Phoenix, Danny Ainge off the bench, has scored 12.
Barkley averages 38 minutes a game. Oddly enough, not the most per game minutes for the Suns. Dan Marley with 39 minutes plays more.
Patrick Ewing completing the three-point play, and the Knicks trail by 4. Chambers with the baseline closed, goes to the hook. Ewing off a double team. Well, it looks like Patrick Ewing is back into it, and the Knicks are within 2. 7-0 run by New York, and a chant of defense with 3.5 to go in the half. Barkley backing Oakley. Barkley to the fadeaway. Dumas with the tip, and the Suns lead 45-41.
What a killer that is after the good defense Oakley performed.
Knicks now have Anthony, Blackman, and Starks in a 3-guard setup along with Oakley and Ewing. Ewing for Oakley, did not expect the pass, turns it over.
What a nice pass, I think. The way Oakley reacted looked like he had a problem with it, but it looked like a very nice dish by Ewing to Charles.
The Suns with Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley in the backcourt. Charles Barkley, Richard Dumas, Tom Chambers up front. Ewing controlling the boards now. Starks and by Marley. Anthony given the room. Blackman is being played by Dumas. Shot clock at 10. Starks. Shot clock at 2. Anthony. Rebound Oakley. Won't count. Foul call. It is a loose ball foul on Oakley. And a timeout taken with 2:29 left in the second quarter.
Take a look at our Midas bench breakdown. The Suns doing a fine job, led by Danny Ainge, who's hit 12. That's his season average, so he can go home now. Knicks getting a good lift from John Starks. And here we have the famous Dustin Hoffman and son. Dusty to those who hang out with him.
And Maury Povich, John, who is working on a story for his show, trying to assemble a panel discussion for the subject matter restaurants of the CBA. And
well,
the women who love them.
You get all the good inside stuff.
All right, the Suns 45 and the Knicks 41 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Ewing thought he was taken down. Thought there should have been a foul, but nothing called.
Well, he was banged into by Chambers and was affected, but it eluded the officials.
Dumas. And it's waved off. Loose ball foul. It's on Barkley. So that's the first committed by Barkley.
Never seen a player do a chin-up after the foul was called like Barkley just did. Chin-up on the rim.
Ewing with a power move.
Oh, Patrick, where has that been? That's taking it to the basket.
So Ewing has turned it after the bad start. He now has 12 points. Anthony called for the blocking foul. The Knicks are trailing by 2. They have been down by as many as 12. Knicks over the foul limit. Kevin Johnson to the line. It's been a tough season physically for Kevin Johnson. Hamstring problems, He's been on the injured list on 2 occasions. Worked his way back. He's getting the playing time as of late. Doc Rivers replacing Greg Anthony with 1:35 remaining in this first half.
Hamstring and groin injuries have limited Kevin Johnson's season so much, and even so, trade talk started to occur because in his absence, Nigel Knight was a starter for 20 games or so, and they were like 18-2. So people started saying, who needs Kevin Johnson? But Paul Westphal hasn't bought that.
It's Ewing again. Yes, and it counts. Ewing has scored the Knicks' last 9 points, and he's provided huge problems for Chambers, who just picked up his 3rd foul on this play.
Well, Ewing instinctively is taking the ball inside now. He knows he can beat Chambers, and he's staying to it. Staying with the formula, rather.
Rivers on the rebound. There's Starks wide open. Yes. Well, the Knicks get a 4-point play out of it, and they have tied the game at 47. 1:10 remaining first half.
What's amazing to me, Mark, Paul Westphal, one of the few coaches in the NBA, sits during the game.
Chambers, Suns with a 2-point lead. You mentioned the trade rumors involving Kevin Johnson, Phoenix Suns. The man that they were reportedly interested in is the rookie that Dallas cannot sign. It's Jim Jackson. And there have been all kinds of packages suggesting that's an illegal defense called on Phoenix for the first time. Oliver Miller checking back in now, replacing Chambers. 6 points, 3 fouls for Chambers. But there have been all kinds of packages that reportedly have been offered for Jim Jackson. And to this point, nothing has happened. Cedric Sabonis' name has been mentioned. He has not played yet in this game. Patrick Ewing with 16 points. He has played 2 different games in this first half.
He's shown moves he hasn't shown all season in the last 5 minutes.
Here's Miller. Has it knocked away by Ewing. Look out. Johnson got a piece of it. Rivers trying to draw the foul. Barkley behind the back for Miller. Blocked by Starks. John Starks with the block, but Barkley recovers and the foul. What a sequence. Barkley will go to the line. He's given Phoenix a 2-point lead, and he has a foul shot coming.
How about the passing here behind the back twice to Miller, and Starks is in there to reject big Oliver Miller. But with very little fanfare, Barkley is there to finish it and draw a foul.
Rolando Blackman picks up the foul. Barkley 2 of 2 from the line. Suns by 2. And Pat Riley says hold for 1. 20 seconds remaining. Entertaining first half. Did not begin that way. Knicks have come on in the second quarter. Rivers with 5 seconds remaining. Starks working for the open shot. Here's Ewing. Yes, it counts. And so the Knicks and the Suns are tied at 51. 0.5 of a second remaining. Here's Barkley. And that's the end of the first half. Patrick Ewing with a big finish. 18 points for Ewing after the dismal 1-for-7 start. He's hit his last 6 from the field. Was hearing some boos, but things have turned. So the Knicks and the Suns are tied at 51. Al Troutwood coming up with halftime. We'll be back in a moment.
All tied up at the half, back at the Garden, 51 apiece, Suns and Knicks. The leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. First, the Knicks story. Patrick Ewing scoring 13 points on a Knicks 17-6 run that finished out the half. Impressive shooting, 7 of 13, 18 points, 7 rebounds. After that, Charles Smith in only 8 minutes got 12 points. John Starks, 11 off the bench, 4 of 9 shooting. Rolando Blackman also in the first half, 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting. As for the Phoenix Suns, they were led by Charles Barkley, 12 points off the bench. Danny Ainge contributed 12. After that, 8 points for Dan Marley. Kevin Johnson had 7. 5 rebounds also for Charles Barkley. Well, as Walt Frazier joins me, Clyde, I can't help but think this was a Patrick Ewing that we haven't seen in quite some time.
Yeah, a dramatic metamorphosis by Ewing. He was in the doldrums early on in the first quarter. The fans booed him when he went to the bench. That seemed to put some new fire in Patrick.
Inside moves, that's what we're talking about. You'll see it in the highlights, which are brought to you by, as always, Minolta, makers of the world's most responsive SLR cameras, the new Maxim XI series. Couple of plays highlighting number 33, as I said, 13 points to close out the first half on that big Knick run.
And the Suns like an intimidator inside. And there you see Chambers, no match for Ewing as he huffs and stuffs.
One more Patrick Ewing move.
So the Knicks finally regain their continuity, and Ewing off the dribble. And you see Oliver Miller, folks, 6'9", 300 pounds on my all-Epicurean team. He has to lose some weight now to become effective.
Well, the Suns aren't 26-5 for nothing. Their bench a big part of that. Danny Ainge is a big part of their bench.
Yeah, especially downtown, one of the career best. So Ainge, that time making the Knicks pay with the cross-the-court pass.
Richard Dumas seems to have put the drug troubles behind him, and in his rookie year, he is a starter now for Phoenix, and a big effect he had.
I like Dumas, 6'7", 205, elusive and abusive, plays with a lot of hustle, that time underneath the right side to tip it in.
Dumas, 6 points, 4 rebounds. So there you have it, 51-51, the Phoenix Suns and the New York Knicks at the half. Time permitting, we'll hear from Walt Frazier at the end of our game, and a second half coming up that should be interesting. Stay with us.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Welcome back inside the arena. 51-51 Knicks and Suns. Before the second half gets started, a very popular award to be given to someone we cherish very much here at the Garden, and John Andres will do that. John?
Thank you, Al. Yes, it's my pleasure, Marv. I know that you don't like to be singled out very much, but the cable industry singled you out the other day, and on behalf of all of us at Madison Square Garden Network, I'd like to present you with your second, I believe, Ace Award. Marv Albert, for the work you've done for the last year, and the cable industry is honoring you with this very beautiful trophy.
John, that's so,
Marv,
I was waiting for a punchline. This is a serious.
No, this is a serious thing, and
nice yes.
Congratulations once again for your fine work.
Thank you. It was the offensive line. It was the guys, you know, in front who really did it.
And those around you setting picks and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it's a beautiful award, and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And now you're taking it back. Why is that?
Because I won it.
Yes. No, thank you. I appreciate it. As we look at the halftime statistics, the Knicks 45% from the floor came on strong in the second quarter. Knicks going to the line 15 times. The Suns only 11. The third quarter underway. Knicks and the Suns tied at 51. Ewing tried to return it, and it's deflected out of bounds. John, I know that Ace Award clause is going to kick in on our contract. It's like the Cy Young that Roger Clemens has.
I know you were ready before the season began. Got that entered into your contract.
On Smith wide open. Just did beat the 24. Ewing is there.
Something has happened to Patrick Ewing that has changed him. His aggressiveness is pouring forth right now, and he's becoming totally unmanageable for the Suns.
Now Barkley setting against Oakley. Barkley with that second move off the initial fake. And the game is tied at 53. Phoenix Suns got off to the fast start, led by as many as 12. Loose ball foul. It's on Oakley. That is his third. High-point men of the game. Barkley 14. Ainge has 12. Ewing with 20 points now. Smith and Starks following Ewing as Smith with 12. Starks with 11. Here's Marley. Dumas wide open. And Ewing with the rebound. A loose ball foul, however, has been called. Patrick Ewing called for the push. And for Ewing, his third. Knicks with their second team foul. Once again, Barkley looking to post up on Oakley using his strength. And is rejected. Got some help.
Charles Smith right to the rescue there as Barkley wiggled his way around. Charles coming over helping Oakley up now, ladies and gentlemen. The offense stops when Barkley gets the ball. He just keeps working his way in, goes underneath, but Charles Smith is there.
Third block of the game for Smith. Barkley. And Anthony on the run. Phoenix able to get back. Here's Smith. And he drew the foul. He was hit by Dumas. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. The Knicks and the Suns tied at 53. And Smith to the line. He's 4 out of 5 from the free throw line.
Charles Smith did not start the game shooting well and sat for quite a spell. In fact, in the first half only played 8 minutes and got a lot of numbers for 8 minutes. 12 points, 5 rebounds.
Knicks by 1 over the Phoenix Suns, who come in at 25-6. Best record in the NBA. In the month of December, Phoenix went undefeated, only the 7th time in NBA history that a team has gone undefeated for an entire month. At one stretch, Phoenix won 14 in a row. However, in January, a difficult period. They play 11 of 14 on the road. Dumas stopped by Smith, and Dumas lost it and pounds the ball to the floor.
He's having a very frustrating day. You can see the talent he has. He's very mobile, can shoot from all over the place, but nothing is going right for him.
That block by Smith is 4th of the game. Smith with a spin, lost control. Here's Johnson putting the speed on. Kevin Johnson with the bucket. And that ties the game at 55.
Kevin Johnson is comfortable shooting the ball with either hand. He's a right-handed player, but when he goes left, he's totally comfortable with it.
Ewing throws it back out to Anthony, and he's rejected by West, and a foul is called.
Greg, like so many players, wants to shoot the ball down when he gets close to the basket. Had he stayed with an underneath approach, he would have drawn a foul, maybe gotten a shot up. Did draw the foul, though, but Greg will go inside now. Goes up high. Too many big people to shut him down on that move. Another look at Greg going in from a different angle. One thing I noticed about Dumas, Marv, which is really impressive, is he has great feet. His feet at 6'7", he's almost like a tap dancer. He's so quick moving with his feet, which will make him a very good defensive player as well.
Richard Dumas, rookie from Oklahoma State. The Knicks 57, Phoenix Suns 55. Johnson getting it back to Dumas. Barkley. And a 3-second violation called on Phoenix. Barkley actually off that fake would have had the move inside, but he had made up his mind to go to the fadeaway.
Yes, it was surprising to see him go backwards after he had Ewing off the ground.
Smith guarded by Dumas. Sets up Blackman. Now Dumas on the run. Threw it off the knee of Barkley, but then recovered. Another wild pass by Dumas. Here's Anthony for Ewing. The Knicks lead it 59-55. Good setup by Greg Anthony. Knicks with their biggest lead of the game. And the Suns want to talk it over.
This great teamwork moment is brought to you by the team of Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other. And from the upper deck trading card cam, we see the Knicks on defense. Ewing jumping out to stop that dribbler. Watch how quickly Ewing retreats to get back to his man. Doing the job. Then the ball gets inside. Dumas is sent back, though. He didn't get the job done. The Knicks defense was tenacious on that play.
Richard Dumas has had his problems in this third quarter. He's been replaced. Marley fires from three-point range. So Marley with his third three-pointer. Phoenix leading the NBA in successful three-point shots.
They have 5 in this game now, and they've made 151 this season.
Here's Blackman. Yes, and it counts. So Blackman foul will go to the line. Ainge, who just came on, called for that personal.
Blackman spinning, moving, more in the groove today. He's comfortable shooting that ball, and what a touch he has. You know, Mark, talking about threes, we say they have 151 this season. Well, that's an isolated number, but when you're used to seeing one team all the time, as Knicks fans are with their Knicks, they see a pretty goodly amount of three-point shots made. Well, the Suns have 100 more than the Knicks do for the season. They really bomb away.
The Knicks are shooting 31% from three-point land. Phoenix at about 36. Here's Barkley. Pretty close. 16 for Charles, and the Knicks now lead 62-60. Anthony rejected by West. That's reminiscent of that desperation final shot Saturday night against the Rockets.
Greg can't get his body between himself and the defender to draw fouls on those penetrating moves. He can't shoot over people like he did in college.
Last touch by Ainge. Knicks by 2, 7.5 remaining. In this third quarter, Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier from the Garden. Matinee special on Martin Luther King Day. Patrick Ewing extends to a 64-60. Nick lead, and Ewing has hit on his last 9 shots. Ewing has 24 points. Barkley into the fadeaway. He was guarded by Ewing. 2-point Nick lead.
Patrick had something friendly, I believe, to say to Barkley as they came back down.
Nice move by Smith, but overshot, and a foul call. Oh, look out. Oakley and Ainge had to be separated. Oakley called for the foul.
Ainge and Barkley finding great humor in what ignited that reaction. Charles Oakley
got the ball
on the cheek there with that ball. And it was Greg Anthony who delivered that pass to Charles's cheek. And Danny Ainge got the brunt of the anger that Oakley had.
Yes, he thought it was Ainge. And a holding foul charged to Blackman. That's his second personal. Oakley sitting down after collecting his 4th. Starks has come on, so the Knicks with a 3-guard setup. The Knicks have a 2-point lead. Now Smith guarding Barkley. He's backing him down. Lost control and recovers. Stay right here, says the official Dan Crawford, as a foul is called on the Knicks. It's on Ewing for a push-out. He has committed his 4th. Pat Riley very upset. Earlier he was hit with a technical foul, only his 3rd technical of the season.
Now Ewing will come over and get that ball loose from Barkley, which broke the play up. But as Barkley winds up to take that follow-up shot, the official saw a foul.
Mark West, who is a very poor free throw shooter, going to the line. Here's Herb Williams checking in for the first time, and Patrick Ewing will sit down. Leads with 24 points and 4 personal fouls.
Earlier moments, that pass from Greg Anthony hit Oakley in the face, who then turned his wrath on Danny Ainge, but it all settled down.
That one is jarring. He got it from long range. 64-63. The Knicks by 1 as West hits 1 out of 2. 6.5 remaining in the third.
Well, this game has clearly turned into a winnable game for the Knicks after the sparkling start by the Suns. Herb Williams hasn't been called on to do dramatic things in several games, but today he has been called upon.
Johnson got the step. Kevin Johnson with a strong move, and he's given Phoenix a 1-point lead.
6'1" tall. Kevin Johnson gets around the basket, and he plays as big as anybody. He made the Knicks big men shrink.
Shot clock at 5. Starks trying to do it off the dribble, has to fire one. And it will be Phoenix ball. Frank Johnson checking back in. Mark West will depart. So Paul Westphal matching the 3 guards.
With solid backcourt play, a sequence like that never happens. Greg Anthony dribble, lost control of the ball, and then Starks was given the opportunity to do something in 5 seconds, and they got a terrible shot.
Suns have a very flexible lineup. They actually have 3 guards and a swingman in Marley on the court. That's a 3-pointer for Ainge. The only big man is Barkley, and he's about 6'5". Starks rejected and then hits the reverse.
That's an amazing recovery by Starks.
The Knicks trail 68-66. Ainge getting inside again. 70-66. Phoenix. Danny Ainge off the bench.
Knicks want a timeout.
Hit for 17.
Anthony didn't know it.
And a timeout has been called. We'll be back in a moment. .505 remaining, third quarter, and the Suns lead the Knicks 70-66. And Phoenix staying with the small lineup. So let's see the matchup down low. Herb Williams will be guarded by Charles Barkley, who is listed at 6'5", but is, I think, a bit shorter. Anthony with a nice move, and it cuts it to a 2-point Phoenix lead. Now Kevin Johnson working against Greg Anthony. Looking to beat him off the dribble.
Let's go, Johnny!
Knicks going with 3 guards, and their big men are Williams and Mason. Anthony Mason checking back in. Blackman open. Barkley with the rebound. Barkley played by Williams, looking for the clear out.
He wants everybody to clear out the left side.
Goes right and came up short. He thought he was fouled. Anthony lost it. Here's Frank Johnson. So Johnson off the steal, and he is able to hit.
Greg Anthony was tripped up by Anthony Mason. A very unfortunate break for the Knicks.
Suns by 4. Anthony, rebound handled by Williams, and a loose ball foul being called against Frank Johnson of Phoenix. Fourth team foul committed by the Suns. Knicks are over the limit. Patrick Ewing sitting down after picking up his 4th. Charles Oakley also on the bench with 4. So Blackman will put it in play. Blackman being guarded by Ainge. 3.5 remaining in the third quarter. And the Knicks are down by 4. Earlier they trailed by as many as 12. Starks with the drive in traffic was fouled. Again, it's Frank Johnson. So that's 4 on Frank Johnson. Now Phoenix over the limit. That foul in the act, so Starks will go to the line for the first time.
Knicks only playing with 1 starter out there, Rolando Blackman. Scotty Robertson, assistant coach to Paul Westphal. Greg Anthony out there also with Rolando in the backcourt. Greg also a starter, of course. Marv, I noted earlier, Paul Westphal, I've never seen a coach sit on his bench with his legs crossed and watch the game. I mean, that's unbelievable. Every coach feels they have to be up there directing the entire direction of the game.
Yes, coaches usually pace the sideline, although right now Pat Riley is sitting back. Here's Starks. Rebounded by Ainge. Phoenix with a 2-point lead as Ainge goes the lane. Oh, what a shot to get it up over Herb Williams, who was looking for the block. Suns by 4. Danny Ainge with 19. Offensive foul on Starks as he was looking for position, posting on Frank Johnson. Now Kevin Johnson will sit down. Cedric Ceballos has come on for the first time today. He had been a starter earlier this season. In fact, started 19 games. Cedric, man who can light it up. Not a great shooter, but thrives in transition. Very explosive player.
Dumas took his position, though, with his fine play.
Barkley. Starks for Williams. Nice move, but could not complete it. And a 20-second timeout is called by Phoenix. The Suns by 4 with 2:23 remaining in this third quarter. Well, this program is authorized by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated is prohibited. Paul Westphal, he had been coach in waiting the past few years, finally got a shot, and it's gone very well. He was tabbed as Cotton Fitzsimmons' successor for years. He was a Suns assistant for 4 years. 5-time All-Star, a standout player in the NBA, including a couple of years with the New York Knicks. Phoenix with a 4-point lead. Ceballos called for the travel, and the Knicks will take over.
Marv, our courtside teammate Al Troutwig just picked up an interesting communication. Frank Johnson screaming at Barkley during that last 20-second timeout about not passing the ball around, and Barkley's reaction was, "I'm sorry."
And Barkley gets to the rebound, as Charles did point to his head as if to say, "I didn't make a good move." Part of the democratic process on this Phoenix club as Barkley gets inside. 20 points for Charles. He's hit 9 of 20 from the field. 6-point Phoenix lead. Blackman. Well, the Knicks have gone cold. Barkley unleashes to Ceballos. Good play by Starks, preventing the fast break. Johnson for Dan Marley. Shot clock at 5. Here's Danny Ainge. Oh, he is on fire. 8 for 10 from the field. Ainge has 21. Phoenix by 8 with 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Starks being guarded by Ceballos. They double up on Mason. There's Williams. 78-72 Phoenix.
That's sharing the basketball.
Barkley posting up on Williams. Ceballos rejected by Herb Williams. Nice pass from Starks. Well, finally, with the players on the court, the Knicks are able to take advantage of the height discrepancy. It's a 4-point Phoenix lead.
Herb Williams also ran the court very well on that play.
Final seconds, third quarter. Frank Johnson. Rebound Barkley. It counts, and the foul. With 3 9/10 seconds to go in the third.
Frank Johnson penetrating, and oh, what an easy rebound for Charles.
Foul on Anthony. That is 4 on Greg Anthony. So Barkley to the line. He's 2 out of 3 from the line. A 76% free throw shooter. Charles, it has been a typical solid game. 22 points, 9 rebounds, couple of block shots.
And you know, Marv, I would think Pat Riley's delighted the way the Knicks have played him, except him getting loose around the hoop.
On Anthony in the final seconds. That would have counted. After 3 here at Madison Square Garden. The Suns 81, the Knicks 74. A couple of weeks back, the Sporting News came out with its annual list of the 100 most powerful men in sports. Now, it turns out Charles Barkley was not on it and was asked for his reaction.
Number 1 is Phil Knight, Chairman, CEO, Nike. I didn't see Barkley on the Magic.
This is atrocious. I'm not on the 100 most powerful men in sports. That's ridiculous. Phil Knight, $3 billion. David Stern, $25 million. Ted Turner, a couple $100 billion. Jerry Reinsdorf, a couple $100 billion. Oh, I see. If you're not a billionaire, you're not on this list. I didn't want to be on the list anyway, because I don't want to flaunt my money. I'm happy with my little money.
Well, Charles out of the Strasbourg school with that reaction, and then throws the air ball and hears it from the crowd.
Lee Strasberg, yes, would be very proud to have Charles as a student in the acting world.
Fourth quarter underway. And Frank Johnson picks up number 5. Suns 81 and the Knicks 74. And Pat Riley now has Doc Rivers with John Starks and Rolando Blackman going with the 3 guards. Greg Anthony sitting down after picking up his 4th. And Herb Williams and Anthony Mason are the big men. So Patrick Ewing will be saved for, I would think, just a couple of more minutes. He has 4 fouls. Williams looking to post up. His pass deflected away. Good play by Blackman to keep it alive for Starks. And a foul call. Starks will go to the line. It's called on Barkley. That's his 2nd. High point men of the game. Barkley has 23. Ainge, who has been hot, 21. Ainge with 8 straight field goals. The Knicks have hit their last 7 at the free throw line. And they now trail 81-75.
John Starks and Danny Ainge playing similar roles for their teams off the bench. And both performing very well.
Yes. Another good one for Starks. Down to 17 points. The Knicks are within 5. A minute gone by. And the 4th. Barkley backing Williams. And Williams got a piece of it. The post-up move against Herb Williams has not worked. But the Knicks give it right back.
Starks gambling with a cross-court pass to Rolando Blackman. Starks saw Blackman, but Blackman wasn't even thinking about such a pass.
Herb Williams, if you go by the listing of the height at 6'11", has 6 inches on Barkley. But Barkley is not 6'5", as we have discussed on many an occasion. Foul is called. Rivers hitting the floor. And Rivers called for the foul.
Charles has, Marv, a base of strength from his waist down. That is the secret to his success with bigger people. He gets the position. He can't be moved out easily. And it all flows from the lower body strength.
Well, Charles says that he is the 9th wonder of the world. That's how he describes himself.
Dutch boy in the paint, showing that the Knicks are doing well down low to the tune of 15+ points, and the Knicks are also leading in the rebounding department.
Suns 83 and the Knicks 76 with a minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter. Mason backing Marley. Sabalos came over. Foul called. The basket counts.
Marley wants to know, why am I on the other side of the court if I was involved trying to guard this man and no foul call? He's signaling that to the official. You see Marley go for a ride now. Goodbye, Dan. Next man in, Sabalos commits the foul, and Mason finally hits a field goal.
And Marley taking a long walk. Sabalos picking up the first foul, and Mason with his first field goal completes the three-point play. The Knicks are down 83-79. Chant of defense from this capacity crowd. That's a three-point attempt. Rare miss from long range by Marley. And they'll jump it up. Doc Rivers ties up Cedric Sabalos.
Mason challenged that jump shot by Marley, and that's what good defense is. Marley had to lose vision of the hoop.
And Marley has hit three from downtown. Marley controls it. Johnson for Sabalos. And he was pushed.
Johnson gracefully gives up the ball without a lot of fanfare. He just distributes the ball when people get open. He'll just come down the court, start his own drive, and then just slides the ball over to Sabalos.
Herb Williams called him a foul. So Cedric Sabalos to the line. Man who won the slam dunk title last year, All-Star Weekend in Orlando, by putting on a blindfold and then sprinting from half court to jam it home. And John insisted that he could not see.
As you recall, Marv, we checked out that blindfold when we were in Phoenix last year and interviewed Cedric about it. Found, however, he could see out the bottom.
Oh, yes. He had fine court vision looking down.
Well, always helps when you see where you're going on the floor.
But good theater. Suns lead by 6. Mason again using a power move. 85-81 Phoenix.
Certainly amused Charles Barkley. Found that to be quite funny.
Marley battling his way on Mason. Here's Johnson. Went to the left hand and was hacked. Kevin Johnson to the line. Herb Williams called for his second.
Anthony Mason doing a Charles Barkley imitation in close with a nice turnaround off the backboard with that right hand, normally a left-handed shooter. Charles Barkley smiling in the background as Mason came up court. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and that's perhaps what Charles was reacting to.
Frank Johnson checking back in. Danny Ainge took a shot to the nose, so he heads back to the bench to chat with the Suns trainer, Joe Prosky. And Kevin Johnson to the line. He's 3 out of 4. 86-81 Phoenix.
Meanwhile, Pat Riley measuring the minutes now before Patrick Ewing makes his appearance. Patrick with the 4 fouls has sat for quite a while, and he was rolling in this game.
Yes, Patrick Ewing turning it from the slow start and helped the Knicks get back into it, and now will make his way to the scorer's table. That called away from the ball. Anthony Mason setting up down low, and a foul is called. It's on Marley, his first, and here's Ewing. Herb Williams hears it from the crowd, leads with 2 field goals, 4 points. Patrick Ewing, as you see, has hit his last 9 shots after opening 1 for 7.
And look who's guarding him. His own dream team teammate.
Who blocks his first attempt.
Ewing smiling after the shot block.
Well, Well, they have had a running conversation throughout the game. Here's Johnson, stopped by Mason, recovered by Ceballos, but we get a whistle. Loose ball foul. It's on Barkley, his third.
Meanwhile, Ewing just patted Barkley on the behind as they came up court. Still amused. You know, let's face it, Marv, only Charles Barkley, who blocks Ewing's shot and loves it, could get that smile, that reaction out of a Patrick Ewing. Patrick smiling at the guy who just blocked his shot and patting him on the back.
Charles does have an effect on people. At times, the heavy statements can get guys annoyed, as occurred in Philadelphia when things were not going well. But players are usually amused by Charles Barkley.
Well, he's 6'5" Charles Barkley versus Ewing, who smiles immediately. Oh, yes, there can be fun out there when guys are trying to kill each other.
Well, the Knicks have hit their last 12 foul shots, and they are down 87, 83. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Nice setup from Johnson. Ceballos was bothered by Ewing. Here's Starks, whipping by Marley. What a move!
I don't know how he did that with his body. His body was seemingly going right out of bounds, and somehow he got into the basket.
Phoenix leads by 2. Ceballos stopped by Blackman.
They're smart, though. They're going at Ewing, and Ewing doesn't want to commit that foul.
As Ewing is playing with 4. Dan Crawford blowing the whistle, maybe resetting the clock.
John Starks, the last Knicks hoop, goes straight down the court, straight down. In the last second, somehow gets inside and succeeds with a wild shot off the backboard.
Well, they reset the 24. Now 18 remaining on the shot clock. Barkley does not like the hand check from Mason. Ainge able to steal it from Ewing.
Ewing is playing softly down low. He doesn't want that foul.
Ewing on the back tap. Got it to Blackman. Blackman for Starks. Rebound Mason. And the game is tied at 87. Phoenix calling for time.
Remember, when you're having good times with friends, use good sense and drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder to you, Dustin Hoffman, from Budweiser. Anthony Mason also is pretty tough down low, and he's working on the toughest. Barkley amazingly springs away from Mason, but misses. Danny Ainge right there on the case, though. But the Knicks got things going their way at the other end. Blackman with patience finds Starks, who puts a little too much on the ball, but Mason is right there.
So the Knicks and the Suns are tied at 87. 7:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Kevin Johnson. And it's Patrick Ewing with the rebound. Phoenix 0 for 8 from the field in this fourth quarter. Ewing played by Chambers, and he's fouled. Kevin Johnson came over to help out, and Chambers called for the foul. So Ewing to the line. He is 6 for 10 from the line.
Well, Ewing knows he can do what he wants with Chambers on him. He did it in the first half when he started to get loose and started to become the force that he has become in this game. For the first time in a long time, Patrick Ewing is the man.
A relaxed Paul Westphal has that laid-back coaching style.
Lionel Hollins there to the right, and Scotty Robertson, also assistant coaches. And we see Doc Rivers on the court now late in the fourth quarter. Doc did not get that time to close in Houston the other night.
The Knicks 89, the Suns 87. Barkley played very tough by Mason. Phoenix has gone 5 minutes of the fourth quarter without a field goal.
Knicks have made Barkley go for that fall-away jump shot throughout this game. They played him well.
Ewing trying to set a screen. Now Starks ducks in, beats Chambers. What a move again by John Starks off a pick and roll. The Knicks lead at 91-87. 10 unanswered points by the Knicks. Chambers. Knicks lead 91-89. Ewing, after Chambers got the step, held back. Does not want to pick up number 5. So the Suns went 5.5 minutes without a field goal. Here's Ewing going glass.
Nicely set up by Rivers, who had the patience to wait till Ewing got in the right position.
30 points for Ewing. 6 minutes remaining in the game. The Knicks lead by 4. And it will be Nick Ball.
Danny Ainge has that stressful look on his face now.
Charles Barkley indicating, let's settle down. Rivers trying to go all the way. Blackman getting to the rebound. And the Knicks will regroup. And that is applauded by the crowd. Again, Ewing facing a double team, looking for an open man. Good switching by Phoenix. Last touch by Ainge. Knicks will have 8 on the 24. 5:36 remaining in the game. It has been an excellent second half. Rivers. And here comes Chambers. Up Johnson for Marley. Ainge for 3. Barkley on the rebound. Ainge again. Knicks 93, the Suns 91. 23 for Ainge on 9 of 12 from the field.
Unselfish move by Charles Barkley, giving that ball right back to Danny Ainge.
Ainge had hit on 8 straight before that three-point miss. Just under 5 minutes remaining of the game. Mason putting the move on Barkley, who gets some help. They double up on Mason. 3 on the shot clock. There's Rivers. He fell down, and it's a 24-second violation. The basket will not count.
The Knicks have been claiming since their disappointing road trip that they have to get more physical, and that's what this game has now become. They are banging hard out there.
Well, Pat Riley had some strong words following the loss in Houston. Knicks closing the locker room for 25 minutes. They had a closed-door session. It is an offensive foul. Barkley shoving Mason.
Mason lying on the floor, loving it.
That's 4 on Barkley.
That's a rare time you'll see Anthony Mason being put to the floor, but he's smiling right now, I assure you, and he's played Barkley real well.
Timeout has been called. 4:34 remaining in the game. Phoenix Suns have 3 timeouts remaining. The Knicks have 3. And at 20, we have 4:34 remaining of the game, and the Knicks with a 93-91 lead on the Suns.
When you can stop the Suns, the best team in the NBA right now, record-wise, at the defensive end, you're doing some job, and Anthony Mason did it. He got floored by Charles, who instinctively pushed him down after getting that lead pass. Mason had a very quiet first half. In fact, he did not score, played 10 minutes, had 6 rebounds, though, but he's come on now as an offensive player, and as you just saw, certainly as a very fine defensive player. He's got the biggest job of the day now with this man.
Well, Phoenix opened up strong, but since then, only 38% from the field. They went the first 5 minutes of this fourth quarter without a field goal. For the Suns, this game 1 of a 6-game road trip, their longest of the season. Blackman. And back comes Marley. Phoenix with the ball, trailing by 2 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the game. Oh, what a play by Rivers. Stealing from Johnson and going all the way, but he's fouled. Charles Barkley getting back, and a foul is called. Barkley committing his 5th.
But do you see how you draw the foul from a big man? Rivers, the pro that he is, first of all, the defensive play he makes now, high in the air. He's 6'4". He pulled that out of the air. Tough play to make. Now he knows who's in front of him. He knows, but he knows to get that body between the defensive man and the ball.
Doc Rivers on the line for the first time, and the Knicks, who have not been noted for their accurate free throw shooting, have hit their last 15 at the foul line. Overall, they are 24 of 29. Well, 15 in a row. That streak comes to a close. A loose ball foul called on Mason.
Now what the Knicks are facing is what has haunted them for the last several games, and that is the ability to finish a game strongly. They blew that 10-point lead early in the fourth quarter in their last game in Houston. Now the question is, can they be tough down the stretch?
And down the stretch, in terms of last-second shots, they have not done well. 5 times in the last 11 games they were beaten on the final possession. It'll be Nick Ball on that turnover. 3-point Nick lead with 3:50 remaining in this fourth quarter. Rivers played by Johnson. Starks guarded by Ainge, gets a pick. Blackman wide open. Barkley with the rebound. So Rolando hitting earlier has not been hitting here in the fourth quarter.
Rolando's into a skip also before he takes that jump shot.
Barkley, nice fake. Beats Mason along the baseline. The hit fake by Barkley. The Knicks lead by 1. Barkley has 27. Someone lost a shoe. It's Kevin Johnson who left the shoe in the Phoenix front court. Illegal defense call. There it is. Illegal defense following the flying shoe.
You know that's a good, strong move when the guy pops out of his sneaker who's guarding you.
So Rolando Blackman will go to the line, shoot the tee.
Doc Rivers actually caught his foot on Kevin Johnson's foot, and that sneaker came flying off.
It's a move that Doc has been working on for some time.
Paid off.
The Knicks lead 95-93. Phoenix bench wasn't used by the flying shoe. Rivers, Starks, and Blackman on the court with Mason and Ewing. Oh, what a look from Ewing, finding Rivers. Knicks lead 97-93. Paul Westphal showing the first signs of actually being upset and calls for time.
And now it's time for the Nestle Sweet Move of the Game, brought to you by Nestle Crunch Baby Ruth and Butterfinger bars. Nestle, the official candy bars of the NBA. It doesn't get, sorry to say this, Marv, any sweeter than this. The give-and-go play, Ewing to Doc Rivers, and that stretches the Knicks lead to 4.
Very dramatic reading job. Really working on that stuff. Knicks lead 97-93, 2:45 remaining of the game. Knicks at 1 point led by trail by as many as 12. Here's Chambers. Chambers will go to the line. Blackman called for his 3rd. Chambers an 86% free throw shooter. He's had back problems, hamstring problems. 12th NBA season, 33 years old. He has pulled back on his game, and he's fit in with this Phoenix Suns offense.
I asked the coach, Paul Westphal, about him before the game, and kind of get the feeling he's fading. He's playing 24 minutes a game, getting his 12, as you see, 12 points a game, and Westphal in no way feels that way about him. He said he's been very important to us because he's been playing some center for us, where they are weak. That is a weakness for them at that position.
The Knicks lead is now 2. 2:25 remaining of the game. Shot clock at 10. Blackman, bad pass for Ewing, and knocked out of bounds by the Suns. The Knicks maintain possession, but they have only 5 on the 24. 2:18 remaining in the game. Rivers gets it to Ewing. Here's the turnaround. Yes. Patrick Ewing with the shot clock running down. Now has 32. He's given the Knicks a 4-point lead.
Patrick is leading for the first time in many games today.
Barkley set up on the crossover, then gave it to Chambers. Patrick Ewing forced to play Tom Chambers softly. Does not want to commit his fifth.
Tough shot by Chambers. Tough for anybody to deal with.
The Knicks 99, Suns 97. A minute and 40 remaining in the fourth. This a major test for the Knicks. Ewing, bad shot. Mason is there. And Barkley rebounds. Phoenix with the ball down by 2. Kevin Johnson sets up Tom Chambers. And the game is tied at 99. The Knicks call for time with a minute and 21 remaining, fourth quarter. Phoenix Suns head coach Paul Westphal talking with his club. Game tied at 99, minute 21 remaining in the fourth quarter. Paul, a one-time New York Knick, spent 2 years with the Knicks. There's old number 44 in the Knick uniform. Remember, the Knicks changed their uniforms for a spell. He was comeback player of the year back in 82-83. But I think of Paul Westphal, who played for Hubie Brown. I just have these visions of Hubie screaming at him regarding his defense.
I'm sure Paul Westphal does too. What I remember about him, what I always think, it's funny you think about that. I think about the ease with which he used to dunk the ball. He would drive to the basket, and all of a sudden he's pushing it down and make it look so easy.
He was a tremendous player, though. 5-time All-Star over his illustrious career.
Speaking about illustrious careers, Tom Chambers, the veteran that he is, has come on strong and has tied this game.
Knick ball at midcourt as we resume. Tom Chambers with 14 points, including that clutch corner jump shot. Rivers, Blackman, and Starks, along with Ewing and Mason. This has been a good combination. Blackman has not hit his shots in the fourth quarter. Here's Ewing from deep, and not a good shot. Mason with the save.
Patrick was impatient.
2:24 for the Knicks, down to 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Game tied at 99. As we mentioned earlier, Knicks have had difficulties down the stretch. Good look from Starks, and Ewing was fouled.
Oh, how lucky John Starks was that the Suns don't have a tall person on the court. Because when he went up in the air, he didn't know what he was going to do with the ball, but he sensed the sizable Ewing right near him. And it was Danny Ainge who was in Ewing's way, but that didn't bother the vision of Starks, who got the ball away nicely.
Ewing 8 for 12 from the line. Well, Patrick Ewing has certainly, during the course of his career, been a question mark at the free throw line in the final minutes of games. Hits on 1 of 2 to give the Knicks a 1-point lead.
Mason on Barkley. Key matchup.
They double up on Johnson. Chambers with the open shot. Oh, Blackman able to get a piece of it, and Ewing saves. So it's Knick ball, 35 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter, they have a 1-point lead. Let's see how they play it. Shot clock at 10. Ewing with the drop step. Big bucket. 3-point Knick lead. And Phoenix calls for time. That is a season high 35 for Patrick Ewing.
Phoenix Suns come in today, the second highest scoring team in the NBA, and they've yet to hit 100, and this game's almost over. Tom Chambers on that last miss. Blackman up there. Fortunately, Ewing there to help him out also. Barkley very unhappy, gesturing to his teammates as they come up court. And Ewing reminding everybody of the Houston performance by Akeem Olajuwon the other night from the same part of the court. And he made his former Dream Team teammate quite unhappy with that shot.
22 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Phoenix down by 3. They are an excellent three-point shooting team, 6 for 13 today from three-point land. Chambers going for the 2 with 15 seconds remaining. So it's a 1-point lead. Mason with the inbounds, very sloppy play, knocked out of bounds. A low-risk one-bounce pass, and a foul has been called on the Suns. Now both clubs are over the limit. Marley called for that foul, and it's a good foul. 1-point Knick lead, 14 and 9/10 seconds to go, and the Knicks go to the line.
Tom Chambers, instead of going for the 3, which you might have thought the strategy would be for the Suns, they went for what they could get, and they got 2 from Chambers again.
Phoenix has 1 full timeout remaining. Rivers now 2 of 3 from the line. He is an excellent foul shooter, 86% for the season.
Noteworthy to point out that he has finished this game for the Knicks in the backcourt.
Knicks by 3. Phoenix using its final timeout. We'll be back at the Garden in a moment.
We're trying to figure out who Paul Westphal is going to point to take the what would seem to be the 3. When they had 22 seconds to go, they took the 2-point shot. Now they look like they have to take the 3. We're trying to steal our way into their strategy session here. Marley can certainly shoot them well. Chambers can shoot them. This is the best. They've made more 3-point shots than any team in the NBA this year. Danny Ainge, of course, one of the great outside shooters. Ainge has made 55 this season. Marley right there with him with a similar number. And Barkley also not reluctant. But the ball would be better placed in the hands of Marley or Danny Ainge.
Marley 3 of 6 with a 3-point shot today. Ainge 3 out of 4. Barkley not a good 3-point shooter, but could end up with the ball. He's 29% for the season.
Pat Riley has to remind his players, and you know he did also, no foul on the shot attempt.
Phoenix does not have any timeouts left. Barkley guarded by Mason. Looking for it.
That's insane.
Ball, a bad shot by Barkley, and Rivers is fouled. I mentioned Barkley not a good 3-point shooter. He is only 6 for his last 33 from downtown. We've seen that on a number of occasions while Charles was a member of the 76ers. Although he does not have the good 3-point shot, he'll force it up.
I can't believe he did this. I can't believe this was the strategy after a timeout from Paul Westphal. I think Charles Barkley broke from his teammates on this play and wanted to do it all by himself.
They changed the foul to Kevin Johnson, and Doc Rivers with the clutch free throws in the final minute. He's hit 3 out of 3. The Knicks now lead by 4, make it 5 with 8 seconds to go. Suns do not have any timeouts. All right, here's Johnson. Knicks do not want to commit a foul. Johnson allowed to drive the lane. 106, 103, 3 seconds. Starks will run it out. That's it. In one of the most entertaining games of the season for the New York Knicks, they come up with one of their most meaningful victories, coming off the erratic play as of late, the 2-2 split of the 4-game trip to the West. Charles Barkley still having some words with the officials, and assistant coach Lionel Hollins comes out along with Tim Kempton to get him away from Jim Clark. The New York Knicks with a 106-103 win over the Phoenix Suns. So the Knicks go to 22 and 14. And for a moment, they are now 1 game in front of the Nets. And Charles Barkley very upset as he heads back to the locker room. The Suns are now 25-7. So the Knicks sparked by the play of Patrick Ewing, who had a season-high 35 after a slow start, came on strong, and the Knicks win it 106-103. We'll be back with the recap in a moment.